Hey everybody, this is last minute, but I figured this out after recording, but I want to give away my digital copy of Avengers Endgame because I bought it on Blu-ray in Target, but I have no need for a digital copy, so I thought it'd be fun to give it away to one of you guys. So after this video, or whenever you could do it now, leave a comment down below, suggest a topic for next week's video, do whatever you want, but just leave a comment down below, and I'm going to randomly pick one of you to give you a digital copy of Avengers Endgame. Thank you, enjoy this video. Now go back to my regular self.
Hello everybody, welcome to... I found a name for it. It took so long, but I can't believe it, guys. This is a special moment. I've been making these videos. I've been trying to do them weekly, but I'm getting them out when I can. I haven't had a name for this yet. I've been juggling with ideas, so many ideas, but it turns out the idea that it should have been the entire time is the answer to it. Going with the MaffmanJones movie show. And that's what I'm going to go with. It's a fun idea. There's no reason to get worked up over a name of a show, but it fits with the channel, and we talk about movies here, and whatever. If I have guests and we just talk about whatever, it's fine. But we do talk about movies mostly on here, so that's what we're going to talk about. And before we get into anything, I just want to talk about something that's been bothering me lately. It happened when I went to Ocean City. It happened on my way home from buying a McGriddle from McDonald's. Not sponsored by McDonald's, but I do like them, so if they want to be a sponsor of the show, even though I don't really have much of an audience right now, I will take it. But unnecessary traffic. I hate traffic that doesn't need to exist. For example, if there's an accident on the road, on the highway, it's very sad. If we don't know what the situation is, we're passing by, don't slow down to see what's going on. I get people are curious, but if you're literally slowing down to the point where it's halting everybody behind you and hindering the flow of movement with other cars, no. And then other people today, in Staten Island is the West Shore Expressway, and I had to get off a certain exit to get to my house. So there was bumper-to-bumper traffic for some time, and I didn't see any accidents ahead of the road, so I don't know what happened here. It might have been just people not driving properly, but on my exit, it's a long winding road that leads to a main street that leads to houses and such, like it is in any other neighborhood. But this long winding road has a traffic light, and the following traffic light leads to a ramp that goes back onto the highway. And this exit winding road was filled with bumper-to-bumper traffic. And now I'm like, oh, there are a lot of people trying to get off this exit, trying to get home. All right, it's weird. It's 12:30 in the afternoon on a weekday. I know it's New York, but I don't know what this is. So I come to find out, once I get closer and closer, I get to start seeing the ramp ahead of me that goes back onto the highway. And it turns out most of the people on this exit ramp were just trying to get back onto the ongoing ramp to try to cut off traffic that was on the side. There was maybe 2 or 3 cars, including my own, that were actually using the ramp to get off onto the main street that this goes off. So again, traffic that doesn't need to be there. You're not saving time by getting off the ramp and going back on. Just stay and deal with the traffic like everybody else. Okay? Okay. Anyway, let's talk about Disney. A couple things have been coming out recently about Disney. They acquired Fox for, I forgot the amount, but they took it for a superfluous amount of money, and people are worried because it's the monopolization of Hollywood. It is taking all these big major studios, creating less competition, and streamlining content to be remakes, big Hollywood blockbuster movies like the Marvels and such. And now they're going to, because they have the rights now, they can do Fantastic Four and the X-Men and all that. And some people out there are just taking this like, oh, cool, so Marvel can make more characters now, characters that we love, and put them into this universe that we all like. But really, I think it is going to cause a bigger problem, and this seems like it is some of a remnant of that coming up into play. So there's a movie that was developed called New Mutants. It was supposed to be a horror movie version of the X-Men, starring Anya Taylor-Joy and a couple others. The actor from Stranger Things who plays Jonathan, and it's been on the back burner for a couple years now. It was supposed to come out in 2018, early 2018, maybe 2017, and it keeps getting delayed over and over again. And at this point now, we don't know when it's coming out. It might not ever come out at all, but nobody's ever really said anything. But due to the failures, disappointment of Dark Phoenix, the last X-Men movie that came out in the summer, in June, which I thought it was a fine movie. I would have rather seen this franchise with these characters end on what was it called? Days of Future Past. But it shows that they were really milking the cow dry at Fox with X-Men with this particular story that they had here. But Disney is now taking their turn, and yeah, so Dark Phoenix failed. Now they don't know what to do with New Mutants because it's a horror movie. It's the X-Men, but they don't know if it's going to really do well box office-wise in theaters, so that they don't know if they're going to put it on Hulu, which Disney owns too, or they're going to put it on Disney Plus, or just going to kick the can, and it's going to be one of those movies, those infamous movies that years from now we're going to be like, what happened to New Mutants? People might have copies out there that are going to be sold on the black market for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Do you want to see New Mutants? Well, you have to go here, and use the coordinates, longitude and latitude. Boom, you got it in your hands. So, yeah, so here's Disney utilizing their powers by saying, we don't know what we're going to do with it. And I know the filmmakers and crew members and everybody worked really hard on this project, but we don't know what we're going to do with it because we don't like how it turned out. So, we get the, the final say. But what's really alarming is not that, because New Mutants not coming out has been a story for a long time now. We're to the point now where this story is going to be a teenager with temper tantrum problems soon, in age. But also, we also have, from IndieWire, this is the headline, Disney executive fears Taika Waititi's Nazi satire Jojo Rabbit is too edgy for studio image. Report. So, Taika Waititi, he directed Hunt for the Wilder People, he directed Thor Ragnarok, and he's not, I think he's a rock star now, but he's starting to have, his name is recognizable to the point now where people know his work and want to see his work because he's just that quirky, fun, crazy guy. But he's also, he's got a lot going on for him, but he's making this indie movie, Jojo Rabbit. Now, I don't know the full story of this. I saw the trailer, but it involves Adolf Hitler hanging out with a little kid. And I think the little kid is fantasizing, and I think Adolf Hitler is an imaginary friend come to life in this kid's mind. I'm not sure what the story is, but apparently it could be an awards contender. It's got Scarlett Johansson in it, playing the mother of this young main protagonist. But Disney apparently thinks that this movie, having Nazis in it and Adolf Hitler in it, it could be damaging and alienating to the Disney brand and to audiences. Now, this is where we have the problem here, because Disney acquired Fox. I think mainly they did all this stuff with Fox just so they can get like Fantastic Four and X-Men. But then you have them in control of these other, like Fox Searchlight and these other studios like Fox, and they're going to put out, Fox is putting out and distributing a movie that apparently is a good award contender. Apparently it's going to be really well received. Test audiences are really liking it. But because it involves Adolf Hitler, oh no, you can't put Adolf Hitler and Disney in the same place. Oh God, what do we do with this? Do we change the movie? Do we not release it at all? Are we going to have another version of The Hunt, which we'll get to later, where we just don't put this movie out? We're going to put it on the can, put it on the shelf, and we'll figure it out later on. This is where I start to see the, what's the term when you're on a boat and there's cracks in the boat, so your boat's sinking? So the boat that you thought was well built isn't really well built at all. Anyway, yeah, I don't like this. I'm actually looking forward to Jojo Rabbit. I like Taika Waititi as a director. I really enjoyed Ragnarok, but it's not like my favorite movie of Marvel. I really liked Hunt for the Wilder People. He also directed the vampire movie that has now a show on FX. What We Do in the Shadows. One of my favorite mockumentaries. And I still haven't seen this as Spinal Tap, which is a movie I have to watch. Don't make fun of me. It's not in bad taste. Taika Waititi does not support Nazis. He's taking a story that's interesting and making a movie out of it with his particular unique interests. And there's nothing malicious about it. What's wrong with him releasing this movie? This is Disney exercising their power possibly, if they do anything about this, exercising their power in a negative sense. And I don't like it. But we'll have to see what happens. It's too early to tell, but it's a report. But swinging into that, this isn't Disney, but Universal decided to pull this movie called The Hunt, coming out in September, that was written by Damien Lindelof. And it's a movie about people hunting each other with guns. We've been living in a really shitty time in the world, but especially America. I'm not going to get into it because I don't like discussing politics anywhere in real life, let alone in public on camera. But I think it's unanimous. I think it's truthful to say that America sucks right now. And all this shit that's happening, having 2 massive shootings within the same 24-hour period. This whole thing with Jeffrey Epstein with the suicide or murder. Universal had this movie coming out that involved people hunting down other people, and it involved guns. And because it involves guns, it revolves around guns, they decided to pull the movie indefinitely. Probably not ever coming out. Or at the moment, it's not. It's just canned. So our president said something about media and video games, and people are saying that this was basically Universal adhering to the interests of our president and doing what they think is best here. And it makes sense to me to at least put a hold on the movie. But to just get rid of it completely, it gives more credence to the idea that we are suppressing art in a way. And I feel bad because people worked on this movie. Like, imagine you put your heart and soul into a movie, because even the bad movies have a lot of craft to them. It's a hard thing to make a movie. We all know this. People who are in the industry, people who are trying to break into it, we all know it's a pain in the ass to try to make a short film, let alone a feature film, with everybody, your cast, your crew, schedules, budgets, storyboards, bringing visions to life, all that. It's a whole thing. So to go through this whole process and having a movie coming out and having people in this movie that are probably excited to be in the movie, be a part of the movie, only to have it canned. It sucks. It sucks. But I get it. People in real life are dying because of guns. Walmart is getting rid of violent intended video games, but they're not getting rid of guns in their stores. What is that? But anyway, not to digress, because I'm not going to do that right now. That is also a troubling sign. I think they should eventually release this movie, but if they're literally just putting it on the back burner not to release it ever, that really sucks. Because it sets a bad precedent for future movies that have intended violence, or violence in general. How many movies out there that we love, classic movies, have violence in them? So we just can't watch Terminator 2 now? So we can't just watch any movie? We can't watch Commando? We can't watch Demolition Man? We can't watch Jarhead? There are a lot of movies out there that incite violence, but they're intended not to incite violence in real life. They are telling a story with characters. That's what movies are all about. They're entertainment. I don't want to get into this whole political thing. I don't. First of all, I'm not smart enough to talk about it. Second off, it's just a dumb conversation to have, in my opinion, because it's very simple. Movies are made to be movies. Movies are not made to incite violence like mass shootings. Video games aren't made to incite violence like mass shootings. The entertainment isn't the problem there. It's really not the problem. So if we're adhering to our president and his administration in that sense, if we're pulling these movies and getting rid of entertainment because of that, that's a big problem. Because now it might happen. It's probably going to give the administration more of a reason to say more and exercise their power more so that this can happen more often. Oh, we don't like this movie. We don't like this song. We don't like this video game. Okay, get rid of it. Are we living in 1984? Is this Big Brother? What the fuck is happening right now? I'm going to stop talking about this and get into something more uplifting to end this episode, because I don't like talking about this stuff. I want to keep it positive here. I want to end things positive. Eddie Murphy hasn't really been doing much lately. He was in Dreamgirls, got nominated for an Oscar. He was in a Disney movie, The Haunted Mansion, which didn't really do well, but I have fond memories of seeing it in theaters because I like Disney and I like The Haunted Mansion. I like the Disney park, so it was a fun little movie. But then Norbit came out. But, Eddie Murphy kind of just faded away. He did his own thing, lived his life. But I think he's coming back now because he's making the sequel to Coming to America. But the same crew made another movie for Netflix that's coming out later this year called Dolemite Is My Name. And I had no idea what this was. I didn't know before yesterday what this movie was. I didn't even know it existed. I knew Eddie Murphy was doing things with Netflix. Apparently they're giving him $70 million to come back to comedy and film some specials, or a special, which is pretty cool. Netflix has to do some really crazy things to stay competitive now that Disney Plus is coming out in November still. And that's one way to do it. You want to get people to watch your streaming service? You get Eddie Murphy. There's not much else to say about this story except the fact that if you like Eddie Murphy, you should watch this trailer. It's a little long. It's elongated in its whole thing. It kind of shows a lot, but it shows Eddie Murphy being the Eddie Murphy that you know and love, that you knew and loved from his classic filmography, and he has a great cast surrounding him. It looks like a fun time, and it doesn't have to be the best movie in the world, but if it's a great movie, it's a win for everybody, and it shows that Eddie Murphy isn't playing around. He's back, and he really wants to be back. Especially if they're making a sequel to Coming to America, which is one of the more revered comedies and one of the more revered movies under Eddie Murphy's belt. It seems like he really wants to make that comeback. And if it works out, again, it's a win for everybody. And I guess that's it for this week's episode. Thank you for getting through those troubling moments earlier to stumble to the finish line here, but we're here. And I want to know what you guys think. What do you think about this whole Disney thing with Fox? Do you think it's going to cause more trouble? Should we be trepidatious about this, or am I just being a little paranoid? And the whole thing with The Hunt, do you think they should have canned the movie or delayed it for a while, maybe come out like in early January? Or do you think it's smart they did this? And are you excited for Eddie Murphy's comeback? And that's it. If you enjoyed this video, this show from the Mothman movie show, I will have an intro coming next. That'll be the next thing to do. Please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, ring the bell so you're notified every time I make a new video, and look forward to more videos soon. I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones. It has been the MaffmanJones movie show, and I'm signing off for now, but I'll be back. I'll be back.